Dr. Jen.
There's a huge misconception when it comes to increasing the minimum wage. Again, it's something that can be done incrementally. The misconception is the fact that small businesses are going to have to close, prices are going to raise, but the fact is when you put money in the hands of the people that are actually spending it, then it boosts the economy and it's a win-win situation. One thing to keep in mind is, thankfully, little known to this area, there is legislation in place to protect small businesses from the harm that can happen if we raise the minimum wage too quickly. So that's something that needs to be understood. It's a scare tactic to be able to say all the small businesses are going to close, people are going to lose their jobs, when the fact is there's legislation in place to protect small businesses so that we can all benefit from a rise in minimum wage.
Well, as I had said before, we need to raise the minimum wage. There's no doubt about that. But we can't do it all in one fell swoop. It needs to be done in increments over a period of time. As Dr. Jen has said, there's laws in place to help small companies should they be impacted by these wage increases. When the wage is increased, it helps our local economies. It gets people into jobs that they feel comfortable with and they'll continue working in. They don't have to go work multiple jobs. So many people today are working 2-3 jobs. And that hurts me when I see them having to do that. It's affecting their health, it's affecting everything. So let's get the wages up to where they need to be so that they really only have to work one job. And we end up having more family time together then, which adds to other things that we've been talking here about tonight, of which we have a problem with.
Dr. Jen, do you choose to do it?
The only thing to add into that is when we look at other states that have chosen to raise their minimum wage incrementally, small businesses actually benefit from that. One of the ways that they benefit is the fact that if the employees are happier, then they stay longer, there's less turnover, less fees for training new employees, which takes time and extra money, excuse me, and the employees are going to want to be able to be better productive employees, and so they sell more. So again, it's all of these things that become a scare tactic that we can't let get in our way.
No? Okay. Let's move to question number 20. We've heard about the need for more funding for various initiatives. What additional revenue sources could you support? And we will begin that question with Mr. Moyer.
Maybe instead of looking for additional revenues, let's take a look at the line-by-line item of our budget. And maybe we can eliminate some of the expenses that we have there and move them into areas where we need them. I think there's an awful lot of waste in government. We pay our taxes and we have no control or say-so over how they spend it. Let's take the federal government as an example. Everybody knows the deficit that the federal government has, and it's not stopping. All they seem to do is increase the level of the debt that we can have. There's a gap in there to stop the borrowing, but they just keep increasing the level of it. We don't want that to happen here in Pennsylvania, and it shouldn't happen here in Pennsylvania. There are some businesses that we can get some tax revenues from, but I'm not an advocate to continually just raise taxes to pay for our expenses. Let's take a look at how we're really spending money, and let's stop the needless and useless spending.
There are 3 tremendous opportunities for the state to make billions of dollars, not just millions in revenue. The one I discussed before already was the shale tax. We have companies coming, drilling for free, basically, and that's an opportunity to make money. The other is corporate tax reform. Little is known about something called the Delaware loophole. The Delaware loophole enables a corporation who's here, such as Walmart, to report their income in other states where the corporate tax is lower than ours. Again, robbery, and you have to suffer from that as a taxpayer. The other issue is the upside down income tax bracket, and when you look at that, it's those who make the lowest that end up paying more than make the highest. And so again, without having more time, look at that. Take a look at that tax bracket system and realize how much money you're paying compared to somebody in the top 1, 2, 3%. This is an opportunity that we have to make a lot of money. And tax is a dirty word. But in this instance, tax is not you.
Mr. Moyer, do you choose to do a rebuttal?
The Delaware loophole, as you talked about, has been around for a long time. And that shouldn't be allowed to happen. It's not just happening in this state, it happens in many different states. If they're going to do business in this state, and we have the corporate tax, then they need to pay that corporate tax. There are a lot of corporations around here that are exempt from a lot of taxes that can be paid because of the classification that they are. If we're going to have a taxation and we want to make it fair and equitable, then everybody pays across the board. No one is exempt except the stop sign.
The rebuttal that I would like to mention is the fact that, again, I took a lot of heat last election because I used the word misguided. You know, us as citizens are often not told the things that we need to be told and not informed. And one of the issues is spending. It is one of the huge pet peeves of mine that we talk about how, yes, it's all spending, spending, spending. But the fact is, yes, when you look at a graph of spending, it increases. But you have to remember not to forget about the graph of revenue as well.
Okay, we're ready for question number 21. Do you support term limits on the PA legislature? If so, for how many terms? And we will begin with Dr. Jen.
Yes. I yield back my time. No, I'm just kidding. I absolutely think there needs to be term limits. The problem that I have with so many people taking offense to the fact that I have another profession is the fact that I think we have professional politicians. They get into office and they stay there because they know statistically that they're going to be able to be reelected year after year, regardless of what they have done or have not done for you as the voter. And the fact is, that shouldn't be possible. You have someone that goes there with a great idea in mind. When they get there, they get influenced over time, they get lazy, they have lobbyists putting money in their pockets to persuade their votes, and the fact is they forget why they're there. Maybe they should have a part-time job too.
There are those that I've talked to that thinks that if we did limited terms, then we lose the ability of the legislator to gain friends or acquaintances or have better communication with other legislatures to get things done. It's the way it's been for a long time, but I don't agree with it. Limited terms, I'd want 2 terms, and let's move on and have someone else come into office and serve. Federal government is the same way. It's one of the things that Article 5 does. So yes, I would support having limited terms here in this state. One of the things I think the problem with a person that stays in office too long is they become complacent. They can be bought off easily, and they're not making decisions for all of you here in this audience tonight. They're making decisions more for themselves.
No rebuttal, Mr. Moore?
No.
No, okay.
Move on to 22.
Question number 22, here we go. Would you favor or oppose abolishing the Liquor Control Board? And we will begin this question with Mr. Moyer.
Well, coming from California, I can tell you that they don't have a liquor control board there. They have a lot of liquor stores, and they sell the liquor openly, and they do have a limitation on the hours, though, and they can't sell liquor on Sundays. I don't know. I don't care about the Liquor Control Board. It does. If we do away with it, we have the ability of private individuals running a business, and that I would have no problem with. The facilities that we had today seem to be working okay, but if we did away with it, certainly there'd be a more free